Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
American President Joe Biden has a light schedule for the upcoming week after getting spotted enjoying some downtime at the beach over the weekend. Biden's once jam-packed schedule turned on its head when the president sent the country reeling a few weeks ago with his announcement that he would not be running for re-election. Within days, support rapidly consolidated behind Vice President Kamala Harris to replace Biden on the Democratic ticket. Since dropping out, the president has faced a notably less intense schedule than earlier this year. Over the weekend, summary images of Biden lounging in shorts on the beach with First Lady Jill Biden near their home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, circulated the internet. Instead of seeing a professionally clad president in a frenzied rush to get from one campaign rally to the next, Biden seemed to have leaned into his newfound free time. The drop in official appearances is in stark contrast to how Biden's team originally expected to spend the year, despite an ongoing crisis in the Middle East that has many on edge, according to Fox News. Some analysts have suggested that Biden should still be on the campaign trail, stumping for Harris, but others think he may be better off focusing on governing, as reported by Politico. Joe Biden and America had a big win last week, one Democratic strategist told Politico, referring to the return of prisoners from Russia. He reminded voters of his compassion and steadfast leadership. More strong governing wins and less campaigning is probably the best thing he could do for the ticket. A second anonymous strategist said he is not surprised to see Biden at home. It's clear the party did not want Biden as the nominee. It's very hard to see the Harris team wanting him out there on the trail, he told Politico. Insiders said they expect to see Biden on the campaign trail alongside Harris for some high-profile events in key voting areas, but they otherwise don't expect him to take much of the limelight away from the new presidential nominee. Instead of focusing on re-winning the White House, Biden's team appears to be shifting gears to shore up his legacy. Several aides and advisors described the current situation to Politico as a reshuffling, whereby the entire team now needed to rethink where they may be headed next year. Biden has reportedly been briefed on how he may want to approach what is now definitively his final 5 months in office. A look at what issues matter most to the candidates. Biden's talking points. Trump's talking points. Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, has suggested the president could spend more time strengthening American relationships with international partners, according to one person involved in the conversations. Xavier Becerra, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, has reportedly been focused on pushing through a proposal to cut prescription drug costs before the end of the year, a key promise of Biden's government throughout his time in office. Rarely has a planned political debate been as consequential as the presidential matchup between former President Donald Trump and Biden that aired on June 27. The first presidential debate in June proved a disastrous night for the president, whose performance led millions of voters and several party hardliners to question whether the 81-year-old was up for the task of re-election. With an odd debate format that did not allow for fact-checking by the hosts, both candidates repeated the same talking points and at times, misinformation, that they had made for years. But almost no one seemed to pay attention. Instead, the conversation centered on the president's audibly low voice, his verbal stumbles, and the times he trailed off in the middle of a sentence. President Joe Biden endured weeks of calls to step aside before he announced on July 21 that he was dropping out of the 2024 presidential race. Here are key developments leading up to his decision. June 27, Biden's disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump sparks calls for him to step aside. His voice is raspy and he trails off several times after having already endured questions about his age and mental capacity following a series of blunders at public events. July 2, polls after the debate indicate that Trump is pulling ahead. Representative Lloyd Doggett is the first Democratic congressman to publicly urge Biden